I would like to begin my topic determination of ethanol in gasoline by FTI spectroscopy by first of all giving a brief introduction to spectroscopy. Okay, so what happens in spectroscopy is usually how do we do this IR spectroscopy, right? So for that what we usually do is that we exploit the phenomenon of vibration in molecules. Now this vibration in molecules occurs because of the periodic stretching of the atoms that are connected when they are present in molecules. So as you can see now this stretching is occurring back and forth, right? And this is actually because of repulsion and attractions of the partially charged atoms that are constituent of the molecule.
Excuse me, sir. Why only 3 atoms are vibrating like spring? What happened to the fourth? Is it static? The fourth bond, is it static? What is the red one? Per se, it is methanol.
Bromomethane molecule.
This is bromomethanol or even methanol. Why the other bond is static? Any answer? There is no reason for the fourth bond to be static. What Devansh want to show is 3 are similar bonds. He is concentrating on the 3 similar bonds, CH bond vibrations. Whether it is COH or CBr, it's immaterial, but it's as dynamic as the rest of the 3. Do not think that the fourth bond is stand still. It's not static. It's as dynamic as the 3 other bonds. Agreed? If you were to have questions, you can ask. Please go ahead, sir.
Now the question is that how to exploit this phenomenon to detect this molecule. So what usually we use, what we do is that we will take an energy, right? A source of energy, which is usually a monochromatic light source. And then what happens is that this energy is in this is equal to AC, right? Which means that energy actually is in some specific frequency. Now what happens is usually that as you see that this oscillation is happening, is also happening in specific frequency. It is a periodic oscillation. So when the frequency of this energy matches the periodic oscillation of this molecule, the energy will be absorbed by the molecule. And in that particular spectrum, right, we basically get our absorbance, high absorbance level or differing absorbance level. So this higher spectrum can be visualized in a graph of infrared light absorbance or transmitted on the vertical axis versus frequency wave number or wavelength on the horizontal axis. Typical units of wave number used in higher spectra are reciprocal centimeters with the symbol centimeter inverse. So why do we use wave number here? First of all, basically, molecule actually is a wave laser as well, right? Like this. So the unit distance, the amount of wave that you see, that is your wave number. Okay, so moving forward, in this case, the FTIR spectroscopy.
Excuse me, sir. Why 2 crust and 1 trough is shown as frequency? I expect only 1 crust and 1 trough to be wavelength. Agreed?
Yes.
But why do 2 crusts are shown? Lambda होता है एक crust और एक trough. Yes. But what Devansh want to show is frequency. He doesn't said lambda. Agrees? He wanted to show frequency. Frequency ऐसा होता है. He is not mistaken. What I said is lambda होता है 1 crust and 1 trough. Okay, do not mistake me. I am not finding fault with Devansh. What Devansh has written is correct. He wanted to tell us what frequency is. Number of cycles per second. It could be more than 2. It could be more than 10. Agreed? He wanted to show what frequency is. Frequency means number of cycles per second. Please go ahead.
So this particular experiment, the type of IR spectroscopy that was used was the FTIR spectroscopy.
Excuse me, sir. What is the name of the supplier who made the FTIR? Is it Bruker? Is it Bruker made company? What is the name of the supplier name? Is it IR Affinity? Yes. IR Affinity is a new name I have never heard, but Bruker, Perkin, these are the famous companies that are supplying IR machine. This is IR Affinity. You should know the suppliers. Tomorrow if you want to buy some IR, whom you will contact? Whom will you contact? Bruker. That is the well known. Or Perkin Elmer. Yes, sir.
collect this data from bispectral rays because it uses a polychromatic light source. Unlike most normal spectroscopic devices, which use a monochromatic light source. This confers a significant advantage over the dispersion spectrometer, which measures intensity over a narrow range of wavelengths at a time. Essentially. So now we'll come to the topic, that is the determination of ethanol content in gasoline by FTIR spectroscopy. So the abstract is that ethanol is the primary oxygenate. Now oxygenates are compound that contain the oxygen atom as part of the constitution. In gasoline in the United States, gasoline contains various percentages of ethanol and containing various percentages of ethanol is readily available in the marketplace. A laboratory experiment has been developed in which the percentage of ethanol in hexanes can easily be determined using the OH and alkane CH absorptions in an infrared spectrum. Standard solutions of ethanol mixed with hexanes are prepared and their infrared spectra collected. The areas under the OH and CH absorptions are used to prepare a standard curve, which is used to determine the percentage of ethanol. Results for the
Excuse me, sir. Can you please highlight the sentence? Highlight with some color green the areas. Is it possible to highlight?
Not in this one.
Please note, dear students, only one sentence is very crucial in the whole of the paper. This is the crucial sentence. The areas under the OH and CH absorptions are used to prepare a standard curve. How are we estimating ethanol? We are finding the area under OH peak, we are finding the area under CH peak, and taking the ratio of area under OH and area under CH and drawing the calibration plot for different concentrations of ethanol. Per se, I take 0.1 molar, 0.2 molar, 0.3 molar, 0.4 molar, 0.5 molar ethanol. We have Sigma Aldrich. From Sigma Aldrich, I am buying concentrated ethanol or standard ethanol. And in laboratory, we prepare different concentrations, per se 5 concentrations of ethanol, and we record 5 spectra. From the 5 FTIR spectra, we will compare the area of the peak under OH. In FTIR, Paras, Harshad, where do you expect the peak for OH, ethanolic OH? Where do you expect ethanolic OH in FTIR? Pandey? 3400, 3300. Okay, from 3300 to 3500. This is the very, very complex region. It's not so easy as the paper says. Basically, what will happen is almost all the samples contain water. Water will contain OH. Where does the OH in water absorb? It will absorb in the same way as that of ethanol. That is very, very complicated. This is the complexity of the issue, and you should never miss the bus. Please go ahead, sir.
So previously both ethanol and MTBE, now this is actually have been used as oxygenates, and thus absorbance in the 1000 to 800 inverse centimeter region of the infrared spectrum have been used to determine the alkane, alcohol and ether components of gasoline. This method is no longer utilized because MTBE has been phased out as an additive to gasoline. So this particular molecule, methyl tertiary butyl ether, was phased out because of concerns to environment. Okay. Initially this used to be added to increase the octane rating of fuel. Currently, ethanol is the primary oxygenating gasoline. The most common ethanol gasoline mixture contains 10% ethanol by volume, which is called E10. Because water is not soluble in the mixture of alkanes that constitute the bulk of gasoline.
Excuse me, sir. Sorry to disturb you. What is E10? Yes. E10 क्या होता है? 90% gasoline, 10% ethanol. That is what is called E10. Please, dear students, please erase from your mind that the subject is outside beyond your scope. This is very much near your class. This is maybe even first year BSc. So please follow carefully. When you go to market and you want to buy petrol, tomorrow onwards you may ask in the petrol station like E10, E20, E30. ऐसा पूछ सकते हैं because all petrol stations are going to change the petrol product. Somewhere you can get E50, E80 also. E80 means 80% ethanol and 20% gasoline. Okay, yes sir, please go ahead. Please follow.
Because water is not soluble in the mixture of alkanes that constitute the bulk of gasoline, the OH absorption in the infrared spectrum of gasoline is directly related to the amount of ethanol it contains. Thus, the OH absorption in the 3500 to 3000 centimeter inverse region and the alkane CH absorptions in the 3000 to 2800 centimeter inverse region can be used to quantitatively determine the amount of ethanol in gasoline.
Excuse me, sir. This is another important region aspect of the paper, this is what specifically I told. The OH group in ethanol. What is the formula of ethanol, Ashish? What is the chemical formula of ethanol? C2H5OH. Okay, C2H5OH. In C2H5OH, per mole of ethanol, how many OH groups are there? Per molecule 1. Per mole equal to 6.023 into 10 power 23 OH groups will be there. What is mole actually? Mole is Avogadro number. What is a mole? A mole contains 6.023 into 10 power 23 molecules. If each molecule of ethanol were to have one OH group, how many OH groups are present per mole? I did not ask for per molecule, per mole. 6.023 into 10 power 23. पता चल रहा है या नहीं? गुजरात सीखना है हमें क्या? सीखेंगे? ये मुश्किल है क्या? Please go ahead, sir.
Now let us look at the calibration standards for this experiment. So the FTI spectra of the ethanol exit standards were collected. The area under the OH absorption.
Excuse me, sir. Did you notice hexane? In the place of petrol, we are taking hexane. Hexene or hexane? Hexane. Is it N-hexane or cyclohexane? N-hexane. Petrol contains N-hexane majority. That is why it is called N-hexane. It should be written as N-hexane, not cyclohexane. It's not Devansh mistake. It's understood. It's obvious. It's trivial. Sir, please go ahead.
And the area under the OH absorption from about 3660 to 3045 centimeter inverse, and the area under the combined alkane CH absorptions from about 3045 to 2660 centimeter inverse. The higher spectrum were determined using the spectrophotometer software.
Sir, can you please show in the FTIR spectrum what we are talking?
So, as you can see on the spectrum, the area under the OH absorption, right, that is from 3660, between this actually, and for alkane it's between 3000 to 2760 centimeters. This is when the bulk of our absorption happens. So that is how we determine that. From the OH concentration and CH concentration we determine.
Yeah, actually, that region should have been extrapolated from 3000 to 3600. If you were to write a paper and tell that, how will you do, Patel? If you were to tell this point, how will you represent the spectrum? You will enlarge the region of 300 to 600. Okay, that is what they are talking of. That should be clearly seen. This is the ideas I am giving you, how to represent yourself, how to express yourself better in examination or in writing your answer sheets. ऐसा करना चाहिए. Sir, please go ahead.
So the ratio of the area of the OH absorption to the area under the combined alkane CH absorptions was calculated. Thus, the signal produced by the alkane portion of the gasoline is treated as a quasi-internal standard. A standard curve of percent ethanol versus the ratio of the areas was then produced for qualitative analysis and we can see.
Excuse me, Devansh. You see, internal standard, quasi-internal standard. दोनों different है. Internal standard means truly internal standard. The internal standard that is used for NMR is tetramethylsilane. Whereas here we say quasi-internal standard. It is because truly, petrol not only contains N-hexane, it contains many other organic compounds, correct? We are only taking hexane as a representative. That is why we are calling hexane as quasi-internal standard. It's not the true internal standard because it's not the true representation of petrol. Majority of petrol contains N-hexane. That is why we say as quasi. Quasi means partial. Quasi means it could be called as partial. Agree? Not full. Sir, please.
The calibration curves that are produced are linear with typical R square values of 0.9. So R is basically the correlation coefficient in this case. And the closer this is to 1, the more accurate your calibration curves. The percentage ethanol in the gasoline sample can then be calculated by the equation percent ethanol is equal to area of OH peak divided by area of CH peaks minus Y intercept divided by slope.
This is very important. This is very, very important. From the calibration plot, how we can calculate the concentration of ethanol. See, area of OH peak divided by area of CH peak. These two we get from FTI spectrum. What we get from the calibration plot here is slope. Slope. Okay. Devansh, can you show us how to find the slope in the plot? x2 minus y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. Show Devansh, how will you find the slope of that plot? इसमें देखिए ना, दिस इज द कैलिब्रेशन प्लॉट. ओके, ये होता है y2, ये होता है y1. y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1 is called slope. When you substitute the slope here, y intercept होता है, this is y intercept. If at all the line goes through, touches the y-axis at any other point other than 0. But see, in this case, the y-intercept is 0. It can happen. It can happen. If you have any doubt, you can ask Devansh or I will answer. Yeah, please.
So, a gasoline sample is obtained from a gasoline station. This location indicated that the gasoline may contain about 10% ethanol. An FTI spectrum of the sample was obtained and the areas of the OH and CH absorbance were recorded. The ratio of the areas was then calculated and this result...
Excuse me, sir. Manav, please see the second line. Can you read the first two lines? Manav, पढ़िए ना. The location indicate, yeah, that's what I wanted. The location indicated that the gasoline may contain up to 10% ethanol. 10% ethanol माने क्या है? Is it by weight or by volume? Yeah, usually it is by volume. You know, when we deal with, you know, bulk quantities, it will be by volume. But what do you mean by volume? 10 volume percent. It has 10 volume percent ethanol. Means, what do you mean? If you take 100 ml of gasoline, 90 is petrol, 10 ml is ethanol. That is what is called, yeah, that is what is called 10%. 10% ethanol, 90 is gasoline. ml, not grams. Weight percent means, 10 weight percent means 10 weight percent ethanol. How do you understand by that? 10 weight percent means 10 grams of ethanol and the rest 90 grams is petrol or gasoline. Yes, sir. Sorry to disturb you often.
So the ratio of the areas was then calculated and this result was used to calculate the ethanol percentage using the equation from the ethanol exit standard calibration curve. The average determined percentage for this particular sample of gasoline was 10%. This is consistent with the advertised common. There were certain hazards that we were conduction of this experiment. Exchange ethanol and gasoline are volatile in chemical liquids and are toxic in the areas. All sample handling and preparation should be performed in a fume room. Cover should be put on the area sample plate when spectra are being collected. Waste should be placed in appropriate container for disposal. So the results were as follows: that students in non-major general education course have generated results fairly consistent with the expected results for commercially available gasoline connected. The average value for the percentage of ethanol in gasoline generated by approximately 50 students was 14%, with most values ranging from 12 to 18%. That is the conclusion of the presentation. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you, Devansh, for the very elegant and clear and eloquent lecture.